Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I hope you're well. Why in the world is Israel being singled out and cornered every single day for no apparent reason? Why can't everyone allow Israel to protect its citizens from extremist elements and defend its own borders? In the South Africa case against Israel, another nation has now requested that the ICJ broaden the concept of genocide. Why is everyone so anti-Semitic and against only one nation? While these statements and inquiries may appear irrational to you, rest assured that they reflect the very considerations that occupy the minds of both Israeli citizens and politicians alike. The latest reports confirm that Israel is set to close its embassy in Ireland, following Dublin's support for South Africa's genocide case against Tel Aviv at the International Court of Justice and its recognition of Palestine as a state. The Israeli government has made this announcement, citing the extreme anti-Israel policies of the Irish government, as articulated by its foreign minister.
Israel has announced it's going to close its embassy in Ireland. They say the decision to close the embassy in Dublin has been made in light of what they call the extreme anti-Israel policy of the Irish government. Their statement goes on to say the Israeli ambassador in Dublin was returned to Israel at the time following Ireland's decision to unilaterally recognize, and they put it in quotes, a Palestinian state. The foreign minister for Israel, Gideon Saar, has put out a couple of quotes here. Let me give you a flavor of them. Gideon Saar says the anti-Semitic actions and rhetoric that Ireland is taking against Israel are based on delegitimization and demonization of the Jewish state and on double standards. So that breaking news that Israel is closing its embassy in Dublin should also add that it's opening one at the same time in the same statement in Moldova, saying relations between Israel and Moldova are friendly and both countries are interested in expanding and deepening them. But certainly not the case with Ireland, as Israel has announced it's closing its embassy in Dublin this lunchtime.
Gideon Saar asserted that the Republic of Ireland has crossed every red line. In a statement, he pointed out that Israel's ambassador to Dublin had previously been recalled after what was described as Ireland's unilateral decision to recognize a Palestinian state. He further announced that the decision was a direct consequence of Ireland's declaration of its backing for South Africa's legal proceedings against Israel in the International Court of Justice, ICJ, where the nation is accused of genocide. The actions and anti-Semitic rhetoric used by Ireland against Israel are rooted in the delegitimization and demonization of the Jewish state, along with double standards. Israel will invest its resources in advancing bilateral relations with countries worldwide, according to priorities that also take into account the attitudes and actions of these states towards Israel. Gideon Saar declared, "From Israel's perspective, it appears they believe they have the right to end all civilians, to impose starvation on an entire population, to carry out airstrikes on educational institutions, places of worship, medical facilities, and designated safe zones, to inflict torture upon medical professionals, to execute members of the press, and to perpetrate acts that can be classified as war crimes without facing any scrutiny or challenge regarding their conduct. This is the reason they are so angry with Ireland. They wanted it to applaud and welcome the mass slaughter of civilians that Israel has been carrying out for the past year, just like the United States, the United Kingdom, and Germany have been doing for the past year and are still doing today." Tiniasti Michael Martin, the Irish Deputy Prime Minister, addressed Israel's recent actions by underscoring his strong conviction regarding the significance of preserving diplomatic communication and conveying his regret over the decision. He expressed that Ireland's position in the Middle East conflict has consistently been influenced by the principles of international law and the duty of all states to comply with international humanitarian law. He characterized the ongoing conflict in Gaza and the tragic loss of innocent lives as intolerable and a breach of international law, additionally claiming that it constitutes the collective punishment of the Palestinian population in Gaza. Martin also urged for an immediate ceasefire, the release of all hostages, and a substantial boost in humanitarian aid to Gaza. But of course, why would Israeli politicians and pro-Israeli individuals consider the concerns and statements of Ireland to hold any significance? Those who oppose his actions are labeled with a single term: anti-Semitic. anti-Semitic and nothing more. If someone applies more pressure, they will bring to mind the atrocities of October 7 to obscure the daily crimes against humanity they're perpetrating. This indicates that there are currently two nations that are challenging Israel's claimed right to self-defense and have been labeled to exhibit strong anti-Semitic sentiments, precisely South Africa and Ireland. However, this leads us to contemplate an important question. Why have none of the 57 Muslim nations have been recognized as anti-Semitic? Why has not a single one joined South Africa in its case against Israel? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala end the misery of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Ameen.